your ruler, Zod. Your lands, your possessions, your very lives will gladly be given in tribute to me.
What's up, guys? This video is going to be about major news for Deadpool 3 and Deadpool coming to the MCU and the next Spider-Man movie for the MCU, the next Tom Holland Spider-Man. Let's jump into it.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder, where we talk all things Marvel and MCU. I'm your host, Warren Thompson, and today we have some really exciting news. We have some news about Spider-Man, we have some news about Wolverine and Deadpool and the future of Deadpool in the MCU, and some further news about San Diego Comic-Con coming up this weekend, and Disney's D23 event that is going to be coming in a couple of months. Now, obviously, the talk right now is all about San Diego Comic-Con. I've been covering it a lot, and a lot of people have been asking a bunch of questions about it, and some people are even at Comic-Con right now. And for those of you who are there, and of course not there right now, we have some really great news concerning Spider-Man Freshman Year, the animated series that is coming from Marvel Studios. Now, before anybody bats an eye at an animated series, it is important to know that they have confirmed that Spider-Man Freshman Year is indeed going to be canon to the MCU. So Spider-Man Freshman Year is a story about Tom Holland's Peter Parker. In fact, it's confirmed to be a prequel to Spider-Man Homecoming. So just because it's animated doesn't mean that it's actually not a part of the MCU, because it is, and it's canon. So this is not going to be like Marvel's What If, where we were wondering if any of this eventually ends up being canon to the MCU. Doesn't seem like it so far, but this is 100% confirmed to be canon and is going to be important.
It was going to be
and it's going to be fun. I mean, it's Spider-Man. And it is now confirmed that Marvel Studios and Marvel Animation is going to be giving us our first look at Marvel Studios' Spider-Man Freshman Year tomorrow at the Comic-Con Marvel Studios animation panel that is going to be at 11:45 a.m. in Ballroom 20 for anybody who is attending. And this was confirmed in a segment of tweets. Jeff Trammell tweeted, "This was so fun. I could talk Spider-Man for my entire life, and probably will, so getting to hang out and talk Spidey with this awesome crew of Spidey lovers was a dream." In which then, Marvel Studios executive Dana Vasquez Eberhard revealed that the animated show will be giving its first look during this panel as well. She tweeted back saying that Jeff Trammell is going to talk even more Spider-Man goodness, surprises, and first looks at the animation panel tomorrow. So we assumed that we were going to be getting some first looks at San Diego Comic-Con, and it looks like the first one that is confirmed is going to be for Spider-Man Freshman Year. Now, what's interesting is that there's been a report recently stating that Tom Holland is not going to be returning to voice Peter Parker, which is going to be weird. Now, of course, it's a voice, and voice actors are pretty amazing. Plus, voices can be manipulated to sound like other things. So they could pretty much make the voice sound as close to Tom Holland's as possible, but I do find it interesting that Tom Holland is not returning. Now, big question that I've been getting a lot lately from a lot of people is, does this mean that Tom Holland is done with Spider-Man in general? And the answer to that is no, I do not believe so. I basically believe that one, Tom Holland is just an incredibly busy man, and two, he kind of needs a break before going back to do the next Spider-Man. People keep asking about a Spider-Man contract with Sony, with Disney, and although nothing publicly has been stated yet, I want you to keep in mind what Kevin Feige and Amy Pascal said. Right after Spider-Man No Way Home was released, they confirmed, the two of them together, both Sony and Marvel, that they are already working on the next Spider-Man film with Tom Holland. And they specifically said this, according to them, so fans would not have to worry about the future of Spider-Man. Kevin Feige said the only reason that they are telling us that is because they don't want us to worry about the whole Sony-Disney deal again, like we had to worry about a couple of years ago, where everybody was pretty much going crazy. But rightfully so, Spider-Man was almost taken out of the MCU. But just cling to those words. Even though nothing has come out in the public, I'm sure they've been talking to Tom Holland a lot. I'm sure they've talked to Zendaya, Jacob Batalon, everybody. Because also, let's not forget that in the post-credit scene, they set up Venom for Spider-Man 4. So they already have their plans for the next movie. They already have their villain, and I'm sure Tom Holland wouldn't want to miss out on fighting Venom. So right now, I'm assuming that all is well. Now, let's get to some really great Deadpool news. If you follow Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds on Instagram and on Twitter, and if you don't, you should, you saw the announcement that Logan and Deadpool 1 and Deadpool 2 are about to be on Disney Plus tomorrow, July 22nd, and they will be uncensored. So completely rated R like you saw them in the theaters. These are our first projects on Disney Plus to be rated R. And this is such a great sign for Deadpool 3. And it's also kind of weird that it's such a big deal. Now, of course, it is Disney. We typically don't associate rated R movies with Disney. After all, that's why they have Fox now, they have Hulu, they have other platforms where they can produce rated R content. But this is the first time we've seen it on Disney Plus, and it's a big step because now we can all feel good about Deadpool 3 remaining rated R. If they're allowing Deadpool 1 and Deadpool 2 and Logan to be on Disney Plus, there's no reason that Deadpool 3 should not be rated R. This is Disney showing us that they will stick true to these properties. And both Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds took to Instagram to announce that these movies are going to be on Disney Plus. And they did it pretty much in the exact way that you would expect each of them to do it. Hugh Jackman had a pretty typical post for him. He said, "Thank you Disney Plus for adding Brothers in Arms, Deadpool movie, and Logan as the first rated R movies on the platform. While your choice is questionable, we'll take it." And of course, he shared a picture of him hugging Ryan Reynolds in the Deadpool suit. A very nice post, a very warm post, a thankful post. And then there's Ryan Reynolds, who is just the best. And of course, in his true sarcastic way, he says, "We're supposed to announce Logan and Deadpool will soon be the first R-rated movies on Disney Plus. But we all know some Disney movies should already be rated R for irreversible trauma." Then he shows, and of course, these are made by him. They're not real. That's but true. He shows some R ratings for some old Disney movies, including Old Yeller and Bambi. One says, "Cold-blooded killing of an innocent deer mom that will cause lifelong trauma." The other one says, "Rated R for totally ugly, cry-inducing, straight-up murder of Old Yeller, also bear abuse." So, in true Ryan Reynolds fashion, he announced that Logan and the Deadpool films will be on Disney Plus and will be their first rated R properties. And what I find very interesting about this is that they are releasing these on Disney Plus the day before the Marvel Studios Hall H panel at San Diego Comic-Con, where we are expecting a lot. Maybe we shouldn't be expecting a lot, but this is very coincidental. Now, we've talked about Comic-Con a lot and what to expect, so I won't dive too much into that, but keep in mind that D23 is also only a couple of months away. And based off of the reports that we've been hearing, Marvel Studios is actually saving quite a bit for D23. However, this doesn't mean that there aren't going to be any announcements made at SDCC, because keep in mind, Hall H is typically where all of the big stuff from Marvel Studios is revealed, is announced. And if they don't announce anything or give us any type of reveal at all, a lot of people are going to be pretty disappointed. Now, keep your expectations in check. I would not expect everything to be revealed, and I wouldn't expect super huge things like X-Men and the Fantastic Four and Blade and all of this other stuff, but expect some. I would expect a couple of big reveals and some release dates and maybe some projects that haven't been announced yet as well. But just keep in mind that Disney's D23 is coming up in a couple of months, and they do have to save some big announcements for that as well. So both events should be very, very exciting. And again, it's pretty coincidental that they're releasing Deadpool, Deadpool 2, and Logan on Disney Plus the day before the Hall H Marvel Studios panel at Comic-Con. So we'll wait and see what happens. And if you want to stay up to date with SDCC, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest news.
Okay. So, yeah, nothing's come out. All that stuff is coming. I don't know what day Hall H happens on, but so far the first 2 days. I don't know when San Diego Comic-Con ends. I think it might go through the week, but so far nothing's come out. Nothing's come out on that. But yeah, Deadpool coming to the MCU is going to be pretty interesting how they do it. Like, because he can't just show up. So I'm assuming Deadpool 3, the plot is going to somehow involve him making that universal jump over to the MCU. And the Spider-Man news, I don't know, man. I don't know what to make about that. The next Spider-Man movie is not going to be an actual live-action movie with Tom Holland. It's just going to be a cartoon. So the next Spider-Man movie we get is gonna be like, I mean, we already have Into the Spider-Verse 2 coming out, but also the next main Spider-Man movie is gonna also be a cartoon. I don't know what to make of that, but anyways, I appreciate you guys for watching, and like, subscribe, and all that, and I'll see you in the next one.